So Mike is what I would call the skeptical scientist type. And his odyssey began with having IBS. Also, he had mood, poor mood a lot of the time, and he also had headaches, 3 or 4 headaches a week for as long as he could remember. So his first visit was with the local HMO, and they said, well, you have IBS, and you could probably improve by going out without dairy products, and you could also improve by attending a weekly stress reduction class. And he said, stress reduction? I don't have any time to do any stress reduction. So he basically didn't listen to the first consult. After about a month, he called and requested an appointment with a gastroenterologist. When he met with the gastroenterologist said, you're depressed, Mike, and that's why you have IBS and that's why you have headaches. If you take this Prozac-like drug, which is known medically as an SSRI antidepressant. Anyway, if you take this Prozac-like drug, you won't have IBS, you'll have a good mood, you won't have mood disorders, and probably your headaches will go away. So Mike actually went on the antidepressant drug. He took it initially for a few days and noticed no results. And then he began to notice that for the first time in his life, he had really bad abdominal pain. So before going to see all these doctors, he had bloating and flatulence, which upset him, in addition to the headaches and kind of a low mood a lot of the times. But he never had really sharp stabbing abdominal pain. So he quickly stopped the SSRI antidepressant and made an appointment with a local celebrity holistic doctor. Well, the holistic doctor, who's a celebrity, charged him $400 for a half-hour consult, told him that he could probably get a lot better if he had a stress reduction program, if he went off dairy products, and if he took a probiotic. And so because Mike was a skeptical scientist, he did what I guess all skeptical scientists do and went to the big box store and selected plenty of the cheapest probiotic available. And he did this for about 6 months, feeling absolutely no better, before he ended up knocking on our door and coming to our clinic. And he said, I'm really getting tired of these headaches. I'm really getting tired of all this cramping stuff. The drugs have actually made me worse. And there's no science whatsoever behind this probiotic nonsense. And I said, and he told me that he had done a thorough Medline search of all the medical studies on probiotics and said that he couldn't find one that was any bit useful. And I said, if you're really looking at what medical journals and medical sites are mainly doing is promoting drugs and surgery. If you really want a natural solution like probiotics, you have to look elsewhere. So I gave him some websites that had credible information on nutritional supplements and herbs. And I also said that one of the things about nutritional supplements like probiotics is there's a lot of difference between in quality. It can be due to how it's manufactured as well as the quality of the starting material. And I said probably the worst place to get a probiotic is to get a discount probiotic at the superstore. So I recommended some probiotics that I liked, and I said it's very, very good to rotate these probiotics. Don't take any one probiotic for 6 months, certainly not the cheapest one, but here's the names of some good companies. Take these for a month and then rotate. Take another one for a month and take a third for a month. And he said, I can do that even though there's no science, which was kind of a shout out to me. Well, I didn't hear from Mike for a long time, and maybe this is because I'm just getting around to telling you that I learned in this first consult that Mike had been eating all his meals out at restaurants. And he was trying to mimic what the doctors have told him, that diet had very, very little impact on digestive disorders, certainly no impact on mood or headaches. So I told him that there was a lot of literature on red wine inducing headaches, and that it was very similar with irritable bowel syndrome, that many people had triggers that triggered all their symptoms. And I said, I've had a lot of experience with people that once they cut out a key trigger and maybe reduce other type of foods that they're sensitive for, that it's possible to greatly eliminate, if not totally eliminate, many symptoms. So Mike was kind of upset at the end of the appointment because the last thing he wanted to do was change what he was eating. Well, Mike got a little bit better, and I didn't see him for another 6 months. And when I did see him, he did tell me, I think there's something to this diet stuff. I seem to notice that when I'm home alone and just cook something for myself that's not very complicated, I don't have as many symptoms as when I'm on the road. And I said, bravo, I'm glad that you realize the benefit of looking at what you're eating. And I said, it's likely that if you do this digestive clearing diet, that we can improve not only your digestive health, but also your moods and also have less headaches. And he said, well, maybe, what do I got to do? So I said that the first 2 weeks consisted of just a winding down phase, and then we went to the clearing phase. He said, well, the clearing phase, weeks 3 and 4, that's the important stuff, right? And I said, yeah, that's right. The first 2 weeks are just preparing you for the clearing phase. He goes, I don't need none of that preparation stuff. Just get me started on weeks 3 and 4. Well, I reiterated the importance of doing the diet faithfully for 2 weeks, weeks 3 and 4 faithfully, and I sent him on his way, and he called back 3 days later and said he was on the road and that he had just blown it. And I said, on the road? I told you that being on the road and traveling or eating in restaurants is not the way to begin this program. Please begin it at a time when you're home for at least 2 weeks. So he grumbled and said, yeah, all right, but I think it's already working a little bit. And so when Bob got home and he picked a good time, he incorporated the program, and he came back to see me and said, gee, this is just amazing. In the 2 weeks that I did the program, my digestive symptoms just stopped. And what's even more encouraging, he said, is I didn't think it was possible, but I'm using a lot less headache medicine. He said, in fact, I've only had one headache during the digestive clearing program, and I usually get 3 to 4 headaches a week. So I would usually have 8 headaches during this period. I may only have 1 headache in the past 2 weeks of doing the program. And I said, what else did you do differently? And he said, well, what I did differently for the 2 weeks is I cooked my own food. And I found out that actually making soups and stews is really not that difficult. And so I can make a soup or stew. I can bring it for lunch. I can eat it for dinner at home. He said, some of these breakfasts you have me eat are pretty crazy, but I'm able to do it. And as long as I do it, I seem to be symptom-free. So Mike was somebody who initially came in and he was, very, very skeptical. But once he put his skepticism aside and wanted to concentrate on the results, he found that the program helped not only with his digestive symptoms, but it also helped alleviate his headaches, and his mood was much better as well. His mood had even improved more than on antidepressive medications.